Hey everybody, this is Bars. I just kind of wanted to go over the new update that just got released. Originally I was going to make a different video on heroes and the skills for the heroes and how to use them in attack and defense. But this is a little more important and I want to get this out and kind of just let everybody take a deep breath, because I know that there's quite a few players that have been having issues with the assumptions about this, and I do have my own concerns, and I think your concerns are very valid, but we can focus on something else. We can focus on the positives that could come from this. I'm going to go over the update. I'm going to go through what this possibly could mean for us and help you guys be informed on what this could do for us as players. Obviously, I have a perspective of a light spender, and I think that I can also kind of speak for non-spenders as well. And hopefully, I can give you guys some additional info into this and what it could mean for you. So first, let's go over what is entailed in the update. So they're implementing the rock, paper, scissors battle system, and what this means is certain troops will counter other troops. So cavalry will counter cavalry will counter archers, archers will counter spearmen, and spearmen will counter cavalry. And then war machines will get an additional buff in siege battles. So that additional buff will be damage increase. Shieldmen, I guess, will play a part. I'm gonna wait to see how effective shieldmen really are in this, but I think what they're going to do is probably use them as a damage reducer so that the other troop types can have a chance to kind of use their counters. But that's an assumption, and there's a lot of speculation in this video as well, so take what I say here with a little bit of a grain of salt. So when the update hits, you're going to get free troop conversion. That means that you can, if you have a T11 infantry, you can put that immediately into T11 archers if you want to go that route. So you can kind of want to look at what you want to do with your build. Your build could be archer infantry. You could have a cavalry archer. You could do infantry siege. There's lots of different possibilities. So you're going to be able to convert it into whichever troop type that you want, up and down. If you need more shieldmen, you can do that. I wouldn't do shieldmen though yet, because I think shieldmen may not be as important as they're making it out to be. That's the important word there. And also they're quite easy to train in comparison to the T11 troop type. They're going to do a new events with this that will focus on infantry, cavalry, archer, war machines, so that you can get rewards for the corresponding troops and help build up your troop types that you may be lacking on. We'll see how this event actually goes. It may be more of a spender's event, but hopefully there's some really good stuff for players like myself who are a light spender or non-spender. They're going to be adjusting some of the heroes. As an example, Jansen's going to get an HP buff, Ren Steelshaper is going to get an HP and defense buff, and that's going to be great for us non-spenders, because Ren Steelshaper is a non-spender hero, and it is one of the best non-spender heroes there is, and the fact that it's getting a buff is great. Now, something to keep in mind, they're giving these heroes buffs, a lot of HP buffs, which makes me think that there's going to be a lot more damage being done in this new with this new update in battle system. So they're also including new skills. So pike wall and volley. Pike wall will help increase infantry attack versus cavalry, which I don't know why they need to do that, considering infantry already slaughtered cavalry in the first place. Volley will increase archer attack against spearmen, so that's just going to increase the counter. And then rush attack is going to be updated as well. So these 3 skills are already pretty hard to get if it's exactly like rush attack. So these are going to be a long road for us non-spenders, light spenders. Shield of Realms is going to be updated. The Conclave Sword, Rider's Bow, and Thunder will be updated to open those up. It's a little concerning for me because my Conclave's like level 2 or level 3, and I haven't spent anything on it, and it goes clear up to like level 30. So the spender gap there could be a little bit concerning, especially if we're using multiple different troop types. That ends up increasing the stat size between us and other players that are willing to spend quite a lot. And then Field of Honor is going to be updated. It's a fun event. Not certain that the rewards are worth it quite yet. They did get better. But that's kind of where we're at. I think this update could be really great. I think that it's great that it's going to probably encourage us to use, maybe a siege and infantry hero combo, or an archer and cavalry combo. I mean, there's so many different variables that are going to account for what we can do. The thing is Rise of Kings, they put out these really great updates and they expect things to work a certain way, and often us players will go in and prove them wrong. So the way that they say it was going to work leaves a lot of players really concerned, because a lot of people have invested a lot into certain types of play, and it's kind of like, hey, your type of play is not valid anymore, or just kind of, it's concerning. I get it, it's concerning. The thing is a lot of times these updates don't work the way that they sell it to you. So let's wait for it to drop and let's see what we can do with it as players. I personally think that Cavalry is probably going to get the short end of the stick here, just because you got such a strong increase to 211 infantry against cavalry, and then you have archers that have the range, so you can protect your archers with your T11. The only thing I could see is maybe cavalry getting a much higher increase in charge, which allows you to hit from behind the formation. So I don't know, we'll have to see what it goes like, but I do think that everybody should just take a deep breath and see what comes from this. I'm going to go into a little bit depth in just a minute here, and we'll kind of get my speculation, my assumptions of what this new update could do for us. With the new update, we now can look at different strategies that you can have. So I don't think that most battles are going to come down to just infantry versus archers, or archers versus cavalry. All these are going to start coming into different mix types. So now you got to think about, okay, I need to put some archers to get rid of their infantry, their spearman line. How many do I need to be able to efficiently kill that off for me to send my cavalry through to kill their archers? All those different things. That's just one simulation that we could look at. And then we got to look at what the shieldmen are going to add to it. They're actually supposed to be very good at preventing archer damage. So can you add more infantry into and more of the T10 infantry to counter some of the archers? It all is really going to come down to, and that's also going to depend a lot on heroes. So there's a lot of variables that can actually add up in this circumstance. The one thing that I would say is I think that the range of the archers are going to give them the initial go ahead as the best troop type until we can figure out different ways to counter each other better. Because the days of us just putting 2 million infantry within a castle I don't think is going to be a valid strategy going forward. So we're going to see a lot more heroes that are not just straight up infantry. We're going to be seeing more mixed heroes, maybe an Errata Gideon combo. And the only thing that I can see that can really go forward with a straight up one troop type strategy would come down to Bij. Bij is the one thing that I could see kind of saying, hey, I can go full infantry, I can go full archer. And even with the full archer with Bij, you still want to add in a little bit of infantry, I think, in there. But I can see different players going with, obviously siege infantry to counter archers, because you got that extra range with the T10 trebuchets. You got archers and cavalry. I think that could be actually a combo, because then you got that initial maybe 25,000 T10 infantry on the front, and then you got cavalry, and then you have the archers. And how that combo could work is you got the initials absorbing damage of the front line of the T10 infantry, and then after that you have the archers raining in the arrows on top of the spearmen to kill those off, and then you have a clear view for the cavalry to sweep in and kill off the rest. That is a viable strategy in my mind, but that's only if the update is how the Rise of Kings are selling it to us. So what would be a good combo for, let's say, that? Well, you could always run maybe an Errata combo with, let's say, Adrian. And you could run a little bit of regular T11 cavalry with maybe a little bit of mix of T9 cavalry, because T9 cavalry with her combo is the 35% critical strikes by mounted archers. So that's really good. So these are all things that you can consider. Different combos could do a whole bunch of different things. You just got to really think about them. I mean, could you run a Chojin Jansen combo and be really on top of the reflection damage? That could be a really solid combo if you run some T11 siege with T11 infantry, the spearmen, and then you have that nice range of the T10 siege as well. So you got a lot of bases covered in there, and then you got all that reflection damage and death damage that you're going to get from the rams in the front, and also, the T10 just ranging in. That allows you to counter the archers with the extra range, and also reflect a whole bunch of damage that you're going to be getting back. So that's a really interesting combo. So this does actually open up a lot of avenues of different combos that you can do. The question is it going to be how we think it's going to be, how Rise of Kings has sold it to us, and also which ones are going to be viable, because we're all, these are all theories. Let's talk about what Shingen. Is Shingen actually going to be as strong as they say it will be? I mean, he has a pretty significant, multi-troop type ability, but how effective will that be? Because in my mind, can we really even solo castles if everything counters everything and you have a whole castle full of all the different troop types? So it's really going to be, how effective is it? what is the stat differential for the counter troops actually going to have to be successful? So there's a lot of questions to be answered and a lot of testing to go forward. But the biggest thing is I just want everybody to take a big, deep breath, calm down, don't dismiss all your troops. I mean, that's your castle, you do what you want, but let's actually see where this update goes before we freak out. The only troop type that I'm very concerned with is cavalry, because it seems like they've kind of got the bad end of this, because you have a very small amount of T11 infantry can kill off cavalry already, and they're only going to make that better. And then archers can kill off all the rest. So if you run a infantry archer combo, I mean, that seems just really OP, and you can have, 75% archers and 25% T11, and I don't really see very many combos being able to beat that. Maybe Siege can. That'd be very interesting to see, but it really just comes down to what can we do and how viable are all the different troop types. I hope that cavalry is a little more efficient than we think it might be, but right now I see cavalry being the big loser in this update. But once again, we're just gonna have to see. So I think Siege players, you're gonna love this. I think this is gonna be really good for you. Infantry players, you're gonna take a small ding. I still think that Gideon's going to be a top hero. I think Bij is now become solidly the #1 troop type. I think archers got a huge increase in their power. They were already very powerful with the Errata Kona package. I think that Dolan and Rin combo, which was not very good in the first place, maybe got a little bit better, but still is pretty underwhelming. I don't know how effective like a Jansen Ogd combo will be. I know that Ogd Mali is probably going to get a buff, and I know Jansen's getting the HP buff. So these are all the different things. I think Cora Naldu will get a buff on his decrease of attack and defense. I know that Gideon's probably going to get decreased and on a scaled decreased like Errata did. But these are all really interesting things that we can look forward to. Well guys, I'm going to wrap up this video and I will catch you on the next one.